Of course, but in practice, it has nothing to do with equality. It doesn't have to do with being equal to men. It has to do with being the same as a man. It has fed us this lie that in order to be respected, that we women have to talk like men, that we have to act like men, that we have to be like men. And feminism...
But you in itself, you're taking away a spot from a man that could say the same thing that you're saying. You know, part of, if you really want to say I'm not a feminist, then don't accept the opportunity to be a speaker at these events. But they'll never do that. You know, Brett Cooper, don't accept the Fox News opportunity. Give it to a man. They won't do that, though, which is fine. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But, you know, you're still benefiting from it.
Has been advertised to us as pro-woman. But the ideology over the past several decades has convinced us, has attempted to convince us that babies are a burden.
Convince us. A third of women are having abortions, and we're convinced that babies are a burden. Babies are a burden. Like, can we just keep it a buck here? Children are a major inconvenience. They're not this blessing that conservatives like crack it out to. They're hard. They're really inconvenient to your life. Now you could say they're fulfilling long term, right? But we just got to keep it like a buck here. They are a burden. They are like, let's just speak in reality, you know. Women see them as a burden because they are. They are. Sorry, kids. You guys are annoying. Very cute, right? They are fulfilling. But, I mean, my dad had 10 kids. My dad's more trad than all of you people. That's what the annoying thing. I'm from one of 10 kids. Do you know what my dad said growing up? He said, have less kids. My youngest sister just turned 18. He was so happy. He's like, I'm done being a dad. And my dad loves us so dearly. He really does. But the day-to-day, like the responsibility of parenthood. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let me continue.
Femininity is weak and gender is a construct. Feminism has spent billions of dollars glorifying abortion and promoting promiscuity, and it's left each and every one of it
promotes promiscuity. It's not something women want to do, right? It was just, women don't want to be whores. They're just tricked. Really? Come on, every time we've whored, we wanted to whore. Can we just keep
followers lonelier and more broken? Feminism laid the groundwork for transgenderism. Because you cannot get to a woman can be a man without first believing that a woman can be like a man. Let me tell you the truth, women, that feminists will not tell you.
And remember, Allie did not have kids young. She did not have kids between 18 to 24. She still prioritized other things.
They'll tell you that your equality, that your worth, that your value comes from their activism, their ideology, your ability to exercise your bodily autonomy, even if that means your child paying the price. They'll tell you that your value, your recognition comes from the government or some kind of superficial form of representation in the media, but your value, your worth comes from the God who created you. That you women...
So now she's coddling the women. You are worth so much. God, like, you don't have to do anything to be worth a lot. God just made you worth a lot.
You have a special purpose, and you have infinite worth and equality inherently because you are made by a God who loves you, because you were made in God's image. And your equal worth, your inherent worth, comes from that reality. It doesn't come from feminism. It doesn't come from any political ideology. So I just want to tell you that you can be strong, and you can be courageous, and you can be brilliant, and you can be hardworking, and you do not need to act like a man to do that. You don't need to forsake your gentleness or your softness or your femininity to succeed, to be fulfilled. God has made you a woman. And the God that we serve.
No, I didn't mean to click it out. Okay, so again, it's kind of like expert gaslighting, because she's saying you don't need to be a man while being a man. Okay, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. And let me go back. Okay. Full screen.
Fulfilled. God has made you a woman. And the God that we serve doesn't make mistakes. He does nothing accidentally or arbitrarily. He does everything with purpose and intention.
Now, in my opinion, Christian women are worse than regular women. And the reason is because women that are actually godly, they don't have to quote scripture all the time. They let their behavior speak for themselves. But you'll notice with Christian women, they're always running cover on their reputation. They're always quoting you scripture. They're always telling you about what they did differently. And it's just like, shut up. God, shut up. I don't care. You're all hoes. All of you.
And your chromosomes, which were determined at the moment of your conception and cannot change, tell you so much of who you are. Women, you were given this unique capacity to create and then sustain life. And for so long, feminism has told us that this is an obstacle, that this actually inhibits our fulfillment, but actually it is a vehicle of fulfillment. And we have to start seeing motherhood and being a wife as the high callings that they are.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Again, she says this, but you know, the amount of effort she's got to put into doing her show, I know your first priority is not your kids or your husband. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. People need to make sacrifices to make ends meet. I don't know what their family's priorities are, whatever. But again, it's kind of like you're saying one thing, but doing another.
We have to honor these roles as the high callings that they are. But here's what I want to say, because God doesn't always promise to give any of us exactly what we want. What I want to say to you women, that even if you are not a wife or a mom, maybe you will never be a wife or a mom, maybe that's not the road that God has for you, that you are still called to mother. You are still called to mother.
Okay, well now, all right. So you see she's coddling the women. Now we're going to get into the porn argument. Okay.
Porn has weakened men. And you know, Charlie was so good at talking about this, and so good.
Now, is she going to address the fact that if you really include female romance novels, all these Netflix shows that are basically pornos for women, and females' consumption of porn, women watch it more than men. Women consume it more than men do, if you include all those avenues.